Hi, my name is Mark. I'm a lead infrastructure engineer at Botonics Labs, an L2 Bitcoin startup. I'm here today to speak about seeing beyond signatures and how we set up a federated multisig observability. So, the first question is, what are multisigs? A popular saying by a Bitcoin Marxist would be, your keys, your Bitcoin, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. We ask ourselves, what is the true purpose of a multisig? The purpose of a multisig is to spread out the attack surface by requiring things like basic pertain multiple locations to sign a transaction, possibly multiple states, multiple hardware vendors deployed across different validator sets across the globe. That is what multisigs are. It spreads the attack surface of, enhances the security of users' funds. Basically, that is what multisigs are. The problem here is the invincible complexity. When signatures are needed from 12, 7 signatures are needed from 12 validators across 4 continents and only 3 show up, how do you even begin to monitor for that? How do you debug that? Or do you actually need to know what validators are online? Are they receiving the transaction? Is the mempool filled up? Are you under attack? These are the questions you ask yourself. Is there a network problem? Is there a problem within the protocol? And you do not know the answers to this question if you do not have enhanced monitoring and observability. The multisig mirage just details what basically happens within the mode. It's 3 out of 3 multisig between Alice, Bob, and Charlie to get the transaction signed. We see the transaction being initialized, the hash being generated, the signature connection process, the signature aggregation process, and the signature verification process before the transaction is being executed. That's what is actually happening. And for all of this to happen, we need our operators to be active. We need our nodes to be healthy for this to actually, so we can actually have a multisig uptime. What do we actually monitor for correctly? We monitor for transaction success, we monitor for signature counts, wallet balances, what is the current state of the hot wallet, what is the current state of the cold wallet. But the things that remain hidden across multiple network and protocols, as I have said, is we do not actually know how we can monitor for the signature collection patterns, who signed what and when, what node has been active, what node has signed the most blocks and pushed for the most transactions, what is the network topology held, what is the cryptographic performance, and what bottlenecks currently exist in the proof generation process. These are things we need to monitor for and observe. These are very key indicators. Here we discussed the anatomy of the federated signature. It just shows the 2-step dance nobody sees, because basically users just, they have the idea that yes, my funds are secured and protected, and yes, that's the idea, but this just details out the technical implementation across different networks and protocols. We just have the 12-step dance that entails the verification process and transaction flow within a multi-sig operation. Now, ask yourself a question: why does observability matter in federated networks? We have the issue of fragmented systems across operators, where node operators are. We have the ability to run isolated node in different environments. That act of decentralization, where nodes are completely isolated. We have when operational silence equals slow recovery time. If you do not monitor for operational excellence and operational resilience, then you will definitely have slow recovery time. You would not be able to get your network up and running. Where failures that you do not track caused by timeout or slow signals result in slow block production as a result of blockchain halts. These are things you need to observe for. This is why observability matters, because of the stability of the network, essentially. A true federated observability would mean each operator maintains independence while contributing to a shared observability layer. What utility can be used to enhance that shared observability layer, where the goal is to ensure real-time insight, identify bottlenecks, and increase the network stability without sacrificing the true core of decentralization. We introduced Grafana Alloy here as the tool being used, tested, and proven. As the documentation suggests, Grafana Alloy combines the strength of leading collectors in one place, whether observing applications, infrastructure, or both. Grafana Alloy can collect, process, and export telemetry signals to scale and future-proof your observability approach. This is picked up and referenced directly from the applications, be it profiling your applications or knowing the telemetry flow within your applications. Grafana Alloy is the tool for this, and this, it is vendor friendly. It can be used as open source. It can be loaded as a sidecar. This is basically the approach you would want to take when trying to get a federated observability. How can we utilize it? Grafana Alloy with its features. Here we discuss the features of Grafana Alloy, where it comes to centralized logging with Loki, metrics, getting the metrics which promises remote writability, traces with open telemetry, and also inbuilt profilers. So these show us deep visibility into our systems and show deep visibility into our network, and can be configured to fit our specific use cases, as we do not have control of these independent and isolated operators, essentially. What is the deployment architecture? As I earlier said, as we do not have control of these independent operators, each operator is allowed to then run Alloy with its own configuration, fine-tuned to its infrastructure, whether it is Kubernetes, Docker, bare metal, or cloud native. The operator is fine-tuned to run that own particular configuration. We have centralized observability. Despite the local config, all data flows shared go to a shared endpoint. Basically, we have a centralized Loki endpoint for getting all of the and aggregating all of the logs for Loki, getting and aggregating all of the metrics for Prometheus, and also Tempo for tracing. We utilize security and autonomy well in we use tokenized access to the secure endpoint of getting all of the logs and metrics for pure visibility and autonomy into the system. What can you say and do? From this, we are able to get live operational insight from knowing who is the slowest signer and detecting the internal life of each participant, each operator in the multisig. End-to-end traces show how requests propagate across signer, highlighting performance and pointing out failures in real time. With this, we're able to monitor for failures in real time and fine-tuning the right alarm system and service level indicators. Before the problem, we had blind spots in signature collection, hours of debugging, failed transaction, trying to get individual logs sent over various forms. The logs are unstructured, network issues are discovered too late, and malicious nodes are allowed to participate in the network while being unchecked. But with this, we have full visibility, we have real-time insights into the system. We are now proactive with our issues detection. We ensure complete transaction lifecycle, and we ensure security of the network, basically. Here we discuss the key benefits delivered, the operational excellence, the security trust, and the federated approach. We just highlight a few key points on all of these key benefits, a federated approach, monitoring, and getting pure visibility into your systems, basically. Let us discuss with questions and possible questions that can come up when setting up these, like what are our external biggest validators operational pain point? What are the biggest pain point? What monitoring gaps do we have in our network? Because the monitoring gaps are network specific. How do we analyze the monitoring gap within our federated network? And how can we customize this open source approach to our infrastructure? I'll end it here, and I would leave my email attached for any more questions you might have, and I'm always happy to discuss this further. Thank you very much.